You like that, huh?
Thank you, guys.
Let's put this on here, huh? Guess we're going to put it, where are we going to put it? We're going to put it like this, I think. Why don't you say 1, 2, 3, 4?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, good. Why don't you sit right there?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Australia. How's the heart? Up. Up. Okay. Would you rather just face me?
No.
Just face me. Face me to the audience, okay? We're dealing here with the world's most common issue, the fear of public speaking. That's why you're going to face me and not you, right? Okay. In fact, I asked you about this at lunch, and I said, when you came up here, in fact, on the phone I asked you, and I said, if you were to come up, what would your number be? And I think you said 8. Were you right?
It's a 9.
It's a 9. Okay. It's a 9, okay. And the symptoms are, you have a pounding heart at the moment?
Yeah, I think you can see it.
Well, I don't see it, but that's okay.
It's physiological. I get a pounding heart, wobbly voice, dry mouth, can't think clearly. That's the most difficult part.
All right, okay. Well, tap right here and say this pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
Like you may need to take your glasses off. Is that going to be okay for this?
Yeah. This pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
Pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
If it was a 9, is it still a 9?
It's about a 7.
Oh, okay. All right. Remaining pounding heart.
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 Still a 7?
It's about a 4.
It's about a 4. All right. Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart. About a 2.
Yeah. Okay. Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Still a 2?
About a 1.
About a 1. Okay. Well, because Ken Barkley wants me to do this, we do a floor-to-ceiling eye roll. Why don't you just look out there?
Okay.
Okay, and keep your head steady, okay?
Yeah.
And then look at my finger. Put your eyes on it as you can. Okay.
Yeah.
As we remind yourself of your pounding heart, just watch it. Pounding heart. Remaining pounding heart.
Yep.
Okay. Is it still a 1?
Yeah.
It's still a 1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Right here. Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Wait a minute. No. Even though I still have some of this remaining pounding heart.
I still have some of this remaining pounding heart.
I deeply and completely accept
I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I'm sick and tired of it.
And I'm sick and tired of it.
It's time to let it go.
It's time to let it go.
Okay, right here. Remaining pounding heart.
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 Pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Still a 1?
No, it's a 0.
Okay, how's your voice?
About a 3.
Well, what does a 3 mean?
It means I don't feel relaxed in my voice. It's coming down. It's coming down.
Is it now a 2, like coming down?
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Should we just wait a while?
Yeah, it'll go.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm impatient. Remaining voice problem.
Voice problem.
Remaining voice problem.
Remaining voice problem.
Remaining voice problem.
Remaining voice problem. Yeah, it's about back to normal.
Oh, okay. Let me point something out, if I may here. We had, I dealt with reversal one time, didn't I? You see how much time that saved? Because I sensed he was not reversed, although we got all the way down with a very intense, fear of public speaking. We didn't have to go through the reversal at all. We did no 9 gamuts. We just did various sequences, down, 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 down. Now, we're not done. You're not even looking at the audience yet, okay? But as far as the voice and the pounding heart is concerned, those symptoms are now down, okay? Are there any other symptoms?
Oh, I feel a tension in my mouth. That's about it.
Okay, give me a number for that.
About a 4.
About a 4?
Yeah.
All right, remaining tension in my mouth?
Remaining tension in mouth.
Remaining tension in mouth? Still a 4?
About a 2.
About a 2. Remaining tension in my mouth?
Remaining tension in mouth.
Still a 2?
About a 1.
Okay, remaining tension in my mouth?
Remaining tension in mouth.
Remaining tension in my mouth?
Remaining tension in mouth.
Remaining tension in my mouth?
Remaining tension in mouth.
Tension in my mouth?
Tension in mouth.
Still a 1?
Yeah.
Still a 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Remaining tension in my mouth?
Remaining tension in mouth.
Tap both sides here. Remaining tension in my mouth?
Tension in mouth.
Remaining tension in my mouth?
Remaining tension in mouth.
Okay. Still a 1?
No, it's a something about A half.
It's about a half.
Yeah.
Okay. Remaining tension in my mouth.
Remaining tension in mouth.
Remaining tension in my mouth.
Remaining tension in mouth.
Remaining tension in my mouth.
Tension in mouth.
Still a half.
Yeah.
Still a half.
Yeah.
Okay. But as far as the pounding heart, that seems to have subsided?
Yeah, that's all right.
And the throat thing has subsided?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Why don't you turn your chair so you can see the audience? And you might even put your glasses on. That'll really do it to you, I guess. Well, but now that you've turned your chair, anything gone up a little bit?
No.
Nothing? Okay. Take a look at it. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
But check it out now. How are you in that regard?
Pretty good.
Well, pretty good. What's happening?
No more than a 2. Well, I don't have to do anything. So I don't have to...
You will.
Yeah.
What does that do for you?
Yeah, it brings it up.
Give me a number.
5.
A 5?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, I got reversal on that one. Okay. Even though I'm going to have to do something up here.
Even though I'm going to have to do
I
something.
have no idea what it is.
I have no idea what it is.
My heart's pounding a little bit.
Well, it's
Is
not.
it part
No.
Okay, well, what is your symptom? How do you know that?
I feel tense in my throat.
And I have the throat tension.
I have this throat tension.
I deeply and completely accept
I
myself.
deeply and completely accept myself.
I love and forgive myself
I love and forgive myself
for everything I've done to cause this,
for everything I've done to cause this,
and for every need I have
and for every need I have
to run and hide
to run and hide
when the going gets tough.
when the going gets tough.
Does that fit?
It could.
It could. All right. All right. Under here. Okay. Remaining problem.
Remaining problem.
Look out at them when you do it. Okay.
Remaining problem.
Remaining problem. Okay. Raise your arm for me. Remaining problem. That's what I'm supposed to say. Remaining problem.
Remaining problem.
Okay. How's the throat right now?
Much better. About
Well,
a 1.
It's about a 1. Okay. So what do you think I'm going to have you do?
I hate to think.
Did it go up?
No.
Or it didn't go up?
No, I'm doing it already, sort of thing. It's paradoxical. I'm doing it, but I'm not doing anything special.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know. But I'd like to have you take a deep breath. Okay.
Yeah.
If you did before, just take a deep breath without assessing anything. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to do it again in a moment, but this time when you do it, of course, assess if 10 is your estimate of your potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you get something less than that, you want to give me a 9, 8, 7, 6, whatever it is. You ready? Go ahead.
Oh, about an 8.
About an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Say it right here. Say, even though I have this stage fright constriction,
Even though I have this stage fright constriction,
I deeply and completely accept
I
myself.
deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I have this constriction, because I might have to sing a song,
Constriction, because I might have to sing a song.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept
What
myself.
happened? What happened to you? Anything?
No.
Okay. Even though I have this constriction,
Even though I have this
this
constriction,
stage fright constriction,
this stage fright
because I
constriction,
might have to sing a song,
because I might have to sing a song,
I deeply and completely accept
I
myself.
deeply and completely accept myself.
Wait a minute. Give Steve. Steve knows Dave all too well, and Steve has the intuition that probably counts here. Okay.
Having him sing a song is far too easy.
Because he's a singer.
He can sing.
Oh. Well, what would be a
You bugger.
what would be a better test? See, I'm a great one for testing, okay? And most people can't stand, with a fear of public speaking, can't stand
I might have to tap on this after Dave's response now.
Yeah, okay. All right.
How about a discourse on my understanding of energy therapy?
Does that do it for you?
Yeah, well, it'll be harder, yeah.
It'll be harder, okay. But if we were going to sing, a song together,
Well, that's okay, we can...
we can do that. You don't have any problem with that. But what's your fear of being up here right now on a scale of 0 to 10?
About a 6.
Oh, where did that come from?
Well, I just don't like it. It's it's something I can do, but I really don't like. I've never liked it, never enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. I didn't say you're going to like it.
No, you didn't.
You don't necessarily have to like it.
No.
The thing we would try to be able to do is to get your response to the point where you could do it if you chose to do it. I happen to like it. You couldn't keep me off the stage. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But that doesn't, that doesn't mean you have to like it necessarily. what we're trying to do is get all the responses out of the way. You have a pounding heart right now.
Yeah, about a 5.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right here, remaining pounding heart. With this pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
Okay, this pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
This pounding heart.
Okay. Is it still a 5?
No, it's about a 2.
Okay. This pounding heart, remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Okay. Is it still a 2?
1.
So 1. Okay. Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
Remaining pounding heart.
It's actually the wanting to do it well. Wanting to do a good job.
Of what?
Whatever it would be.
Oh, okay.
You know, to perform.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, see, actually, to me, that, and correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but that's two different problems. One is the anxiety about being up here, period. That's stage fright. The other is the beating yourself up about, or the perfectionism, if you will, about having to do it just right.
Yes, it's more not just being here, but performing, producing. You know, I could come up on stage and sit around or stand around, and I could say something briefly or do something, but an extended kind of performing is much more exposing and threatening. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Even though I have this problem performing.
Even though I have this problem.
Even though I have this anxiety about performing.
Even though I have this anxiety about performing.
Let me stop you a second. I want to see if there's a distinction you have in your own thinking. There's a difference between being prepared and not being prepared when it comes to performance anxiety.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would happen if I gave you a subject to talk about you were totally unprepared for? Like, how do you make a T-39 jet bomber?
Oh, that'd be fine, because I'd know I knew nothing about it, so I could happily do it. But it's when I do know about it, and I want to do it well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And what does well mean? If you were to do the discourse that Steve was talking about your view of energy therapies, did I say it right? Under your understanding of energy therapies?
It's like a negative at the moment for me, just being honest about it. It's like not being a fool, not being stupid, not being an idiot, not stumbling, not fumbling, you know.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't really matter about the content as long as I could perform.
Oh, okay. What would happen if you stumbled and messed up your words and said the wrong thing?
Oh, I'd get over it, but I'd be cranky with myself.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Even though I beat myself up a lot.
Even though I beat myself up a lot.
I've done it for years.
Done it for years.
I'll keep on doing it if I don't get over this.
I'll keep on doing it if I don't get
I
over
deeply
this.
completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I really mean it. I do deeply completely accept myself.
And I really mean that I do deeply.
Because I have been doing it all these years.
Because I have been doing it all these years.
It's not always been my fault.
It's not always been my fault.
Perfectionism sometimes is something that's laid upon us.
Perfectionism is something that sometimes is laid upon us.
Like by our parents.
Like by our parents.
And our peers.
And our peers.
And society in general.
Society in general.
Thou shalt do it right.
Thou shalt do it right.
Am I hitting the bullseye?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I shall do it right.
I shall do it right.
Over here.
I shall do it right.
And by the way, as you're doing this, we'll just do the EFT thing, okay? And just follow me. Tell us what right is.
Oh, right is what someone else thinks is right.
Ah, who else?
Right is what you're told is right before you get to think about it yourself. So there's
okay,
a double system.
Like who told you it was right? Who told you what right is?
Someone who knows.
What would be an example?
It would be a teacher telling you what colour to colour in.
Oh, I see.
And you've got your own colour.
You've got your own colour, but if
then
the
you do
teacher
it
says
wrong.
use brown and you want to use red.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Even though I wish I had different teachers.
Even though I wish I had different teachers.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Different teachers.
Different teachers.
Using my own version of what's right.
Using my own version of what's right.
Relaxing on my own version of what's right.
Relaxing on my own version of what's right.
My own version counts.
My own version counts.
Does that fit?
Oh, yeah.
Even though my own version doesn't count.
Even though my own version doesn't count.
My own version doesn't count.
Mm.
Okay.
Even though my own
Do it
version
right.
doesn't
Do
count.
it right. Okay. How's that make you feel when I said
That's
that?
okay.
Okay.
You're allowed.
I'm allowed. By the way, with me, do it right.
Do it right!
How's that? Well, I don't know if it got to you or not.
No. I appreciate it. It's right. It's true.
Okay.
These are not my teachers, they're my peers and my teachers. It's a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's your teacher? Who's the teacher that has told you the teacher that has told you about what is right?
Parents, father.
Okay. And what's an example what your father may have said about what is, that would give you an idea about what is right?
Well, it's just when you do something wrong, you're in trouble, and you never meant to do wrong. So, by definition.
Yeah, well, give me an example.
Oh.
When I was a little boy, I did, my father said, or something like that.
Upsetting my brother, and he'd be cranky, or he'd just be cranky anyway.
Yeah.
And I think, well, must have done something wrong.
Oh, okay. Did he say what you did wrong, or just the fact that he was
Not
cranky?
always, no. And sometimes it was delayed. Like, you would do something wrong, which I did plenty of, but then you get into trouble later.
Okay. Does that make you unique, doing something wrong?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Everybody here who's never done anything wrong, please raise your hand. Here, see, these people have never done anything wrong. Would you please be his teacher? So did your father ever really say, David, you did that wrong, you should have done so-and-so, or anything like that?
Sometimes, but often it was like you'd get into trouble so much later you could never really remember what it was.
Okay. All right. Here, rub this sore spot for me. Can you find the sore spot?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So even though my teacher is my father.
Even though my teacher is my father.
And how old were you, by the way, when this was happening?
6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8. And the fact that he was cranky.
And the fact that he was cranky.
Made me think I did something wrong.
Made me think I did something wrong.
I'm still willing.
I'm still willing.
To take the interpretation.
To take the interpretation.
Of a 7 or 8-year-old boy.
Of a 7 to 8-year-old boy.
7 or 8-year-old boy. Is that about right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you did make an interpretation.
Yeah.
Okay. And even though people are cranky.
And even though people are cranky.
For their own reasons.
For their own reasons.
For their own upbringing and background.
For their own upbringing
and background. And the passengers on their bus.
And the passengers on their bus.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely
I let my father go.
I let my father
and
go.
And all his crankiness.
And all his crankiness.
Okay. Right here. Fear of being up here.
Fear of being up here.
Fear of performing.
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 Fear of performing. How you doing now?
Good.
Okay. Well, why don't you talk about your understanding of the energy therapy? Before you start, I want to know, did something wrong?
Yeah, heart went up a bit, yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. Okay, how much?
To a 3.
Okay. This remaining heart pounding?
Remaining heart pounding.
Remaining heart pounding?
Remaining heart pounding.
Remaining heart pounding?
Remaining heart pounding.
Remaining heart pounding.
Remaining heart pounding.
Okay. It's like you can do both sides.
Oh, yeah.
How's the heart right now?
At a 1.
Okay. Why don't we do this? Why don't you talk? We're going to do this. And the moment you get intent, you let me know, okay? Okay. Because this is very important. It isn't the kind of thing where we just, we try to gut it through. If you're getting intense, that means there's something we need to tap on, etc. But why don't you start with it? And what I'm going to ask you to do out here is to raise your hand if you have any questions. And I'd like to have you moderate a discussion on this subject. Could you do that?
Okay.
As you now think about doing that?
Yeah, that's
Are you okay?
That's all right.
Okay, we have a question back here to begin with anyway, so.
Thanks for doing such a great job out there. I wanted to ask you if you had any idea of what Gary was doing when he had his hand up and went down, or had his hand down and went up.
No.
That was the forward seating eye roll, you mean? Yeah, okay. Yeah, he did. Okay, Tony?
David, just a little, again, thank you. Hope you're not too embarrassed at the end of the process.
Thanks for the seed, Tony. That's wonderful.
I wanted to ask you, when you were confronted with those four different issues that Gary just did a moment ago, one was an interpretation of your behavior as an 8-year-old, another was reality testing, another, there are four or five different things that he did that. Did any of those link with you? Did any of those specifically have you change a cognition as he was doing that?
I'm not cognitively aware of that, but because my understanding of energy is it's person to person, or universe to person, or as an interlinking. And I think tapas is the example of that. I personally think you could just sit with the client and say nothing, and you get all your results. That's my opinion.
I want to know how you're feeling now as you're speaking about
Yeah, I'm getting a bit intense as I'm looking at tapas.
Oh, and why would that be? Because she's a teacher?
No, not because she's a teacher. Because she knows how I feel.
Oh, okay. And that feels exposure?
It's a good knowing. Yeah, it's an exposure.
Okay,
yeah.
even though I feel exposed to tapas.
Even though I feel exposed to tapas.
Even though I feel exposed in general.
Even though I feel exposed
I
in
deeply
general.
completely accept
I
myself.
deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay, I hear exposed.
Exposed.
Look out there, exposed. Like, look at tapas. Exposed.
Exposed.
Under your eye.
Exposed.
Exposed. Exposed. How's it now?
It's very good.
Is it?
I'm getting the double therapy.
You get Well, what is your understanding of energy therapy?
It's a transmission.
A transmission, okay.
Yep.
By the way, when you do this, I want to make sure it's correct. So if you're being graded.
The way I'm feeling now, it doesn't really matter if it's right or wrong because I know what I know.
Oh.
And
But let's keep going anyway,
Yeah,
and we'll see if we can't test this thing and find some little pieces to it and step all over it if we can.
yeah, no, I'm very confident knowing what I know, and I guess there's a concern that other people might not comprehend, agree, get on side with it. I feel a bit intense talking about that.
Okay.
As if they would oppose,
Okay.
silently or actively.
Okay, rub right here. Okay. Even though I'm a slave to other people's opinions,
Even though I'm a slave to other people's opinions,
and they're not really entitled to it unless it's the one I want,
and they're not really entitled to it unless it's the one I
I
want.
deeply and completely accept
I deeply and
myself.
completely accept
Okay.
myself.
Slave to other people's
Slave to other people's opinion.
Slave to other people's
people's
opinion.
opinion.
Here.
Slave to other people's opinion.
All right. Look out there and say these words.
Yep.
I'm really concerned about what you think.
I'm really concerned about what you think.
How true does that feel?
Not that true. No.
Okay. Okay. That doesn't mean you have to necessarily be
a little
callous
bit.
to
A
it.
little bit true.
A little bit true. I care what people think up here.
Yes.
Because if they all opposed me and walked out, I'd say, "What the hell's wrong?" It'd probably bother me for at least 20 minutes.
The question is more like, would they oppose what I think?
Oh, okay.
It's
What
more
if they
like-
opposed it?
Well, that would be unpleasant, but it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Okay. Even though I have a fear of opposition,
Even though I have a fear of opposition,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
And even though I don't really recognize
And even though I don't really recognise
that opposition is healthy,
that opposition is healthy,
and that's how we grow
and that's how we grow
and learn new ideas,
and learn new ideas,
even if it's hostile sometimes.
even if it's hostile sometimes.
Okay. Opposition?
Opposition,
Opposition to my ideas.
opposition,
Opposition to my ideas.
opposition to my ideas,
Let me try it down here. Opposition to my ideas.
opposition to my ideas.
Okay. Anyway, why don't you here say this now? I really hope you agree with me. My life depends upon it. Go
I
ahead.
really hope you agree with me. My life depends on it.
How's it feel?
Well, I hope it doesn't. I'll be in deep shit if it does.
Let's put the glasses back on. Let's go on about our discussions. And by the way, if you have any questions on the subject of energy therapies, etc., as he's going on, he's going to moderate it. And do you
Yeah.
mind if I leave the stage?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Do you mind if I don't ask you back?
Oh God, I love this job.
Let's see. The power of this is true.
David, I'm going to try and get your suds level up by asking you to stand up. It's much harder to do this and stand up. Okay. Now talk. Don't hold on to anything.
Is there a difference?
Not really.
Well, wait a second. Somebody asked him something.
You ask him something, smart ass.
Yeah, you ask him something.
You tell me, Gare. Okay.
Maybe you're wanting another neck rub.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you compare what you think of TAT to Larry Nim's system, and just what are your thoughts on that?
Well, you could compare them, but I don't think it's a good thing to do except cognitively, because they both work and they're both very energetic. I think Larry and Tapas are brother and sister, but Larry wouldn't like me to say that. I think he likes to hide his spirituality under a bushel. Getting a bit intense saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. All right. What's the intense part? The spirituality part?
It's like your intention, you know, when you feel strongly about an emotional connection, like you did with
Adrian?
Adrian, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's not necessarily bad, by the way.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I didn't.
But for the moment, let's say this spiritual intensity.
The spiritual intensity.
Is that the right term for it?
Yeah.
Okay. The spiritual intensity.
The spiritual intensity.
Okay. See, I was banging all over myself when that was happening, and to me, I don't really mind that. I mean, I had to bring myself down from all of that, so I wasn't going to sit here and cry for 3 days. Okay, so you need to come down.
Yeah.
But I don't consider that something necessarily I even want to necessarily get rid of forever. You know? Okay. So make that distinction.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
out there, but
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you doing right now with it?
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
All right.
More questions? If
Marty,
any? Or I could just go on and on and on.
Well, I would like to know what you think I should do when I get back to the office.
You're not on.
I would like to know what you think I should do when I get back to my office and I try to apply all of the various theories and all of the various techniques that we've heard in this last 3 days. What would be your advice about my integrating this back into my practice?
Well, I think you really do know what to do, so I would agree with Larry that if you could ask yourself what would be the best thing to do, then you could do that. Then if you couldn't figure it out, you could email me, and I'd tell you.
As you may recall, when David started out in this session, he indicated one of the most difficult things for him in public speaking was being able to think clearly. Notice now how he's speaking, how easy it is for him to put his thoughts together. And when I talked to him 2 weeks after this, he said that was the most obvious evidence to him that he is making progress here. And by the way, the problem doesn't seem to have bothered him since.
Oh, you've just emailed me?
I've just emailed you.
Okay, I'll just read it.
How are you doing intensity?
Please do.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, a couple more questions.
Yeah. At the back.
A couple of questions I've been wanting to ask, and you'll do just fine to answer them. One is on the apex problem that hasn't come up in my remembrance in this conference. If you could comment on your perceptions about that. And the second one is on collarbone breathing, whether you use that and what you think about that and when you might use that or wouldn't use it. Thanks.
The apex problem is a problem I have on a deeper level, which is why I think reversal exists. I don't think clients have the apex problem. I think we all have it in our own unconscious. So I'm very sympathetic when a client doesn't know why they've got better. It doesn't worry me at all. Collarbone breathing I think is quite cumbersome, and it makes me think all over again about the gamut point and why it should be necessary. Just feeling a bit of dry mouth, but it doesn't sort of worry me a bit. It doesn't
okay.
concern
Well,
me.
as long as we're here, we might as well, if that's connected somehow. Dry mouth? On a scale of 0 to 10, how dry is it?
But since I got up here, it's been pretty dry, about 5.
Oh, 5. Okay, dry mouth.
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 Still 5?
Yeah, it might not get...
Well, do you have would water help?
It would.
I mean, is it that kind of dry mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, shoot. It's from Australia, I'm told.
Thanks.
I mean, there's dry mouth and there's dry mouth, you know?
That'll do the trick.
Okay, all right. One more question for David, if we could.
One more question.
Yeah.
David, I'd just like you to elaborate more on your thoughts about the energy theories.
Sure. For me, it's a modification of something that I learned through Siddha Yoga.
Say it right. Right. Say it right. Make no mistakes. No mistakes. Don't you dare.
Well, even if you don't agree, or even if I don't say this right, or even if you don't know whether I'm saying it right or not, it's my opinion, so it's right for me. But you can choose to agree or not. It's up to you. That doesn't worry me at all. Okay. So the energy I'm thinking about. Thank you. Unaccustomed as I am, it's an energy transmission, and you can get it from people or from other energy sources, and there are so many people have it. Gary has it, a lot of it, and I think EFT allows him to express it, and he'd express it without the EFT, and Tapas the same, and Larry. Larry very much. You can't fool me. Yeah.
I would like, if you wouldn't mind, to end this up asking the audience correctly.
Yeah.
If they're awesome. You remember how I wanted to
Yes.
do this?
Okay.
You can come back here and you ask them. I mean, you're going to like that, right?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm getting ready.
Well, no, we have to do it right here.
That might go flying.
It might go flying. Well, if you're that awesome, it will. I would love nothing better than have it go flying. Oops, what are we doing? There we go. Okay. Now, we're going to practice just for a minute. You got to get your body into this, okay? And it isn't one of these like that, okay? So are you awesome? Like that, you know? So just give me this part right now. Okay, good. All right, now ask them the question.
Are you awesome? Thanks very much, sir. Thanks very much.
And by the way, just I neglected to reintroduce to you Michael Gandy, whom you already know. But Michael, why don't we just go over for a second what's going to happen here? You have already spent some time with Joyce doing what you call a map. That is, you've gotten some background information on her energetically and etc. Why don't you just give a rough idea of what you have done and then what you expect to do by putting these electrodes on both her and you.
Okay. So, how many people got a copy of my map?
What I use. Okay. I was handing them out. If you leave me your card and you want one, I'd be happy to send it to you. Probably that by itself wouldn't make a lot of sense to you. But when it's filled in with information that's relevant to a given individual, what it becomes is like it's kind of the meta map of patterns that normally appear over the period of months or even years that are the underlying tendencies for that person. And when a person is kind of caught in certain boxes of that map, then they are no longer here and now in a real and responsive way. They are there in a kind of a reactive and somewhat robotic way. You know, that's when they're not truly alive, because they're still in a sense stuck on a script or a pattern that's quite old. Now, in my testing, I find that there's 3, 4, 5 or so of these meta maps that one of those boxes will be related to a trauma in time and space. The rest of them are all, if you will, compensations and adaptations and belief system changes and all that are interconnected and related to that. as you see these several maps that come up for an individual and you change them, what happens is those people start being able to be in the world and be with people in a completely different way. These people transform their lives, not just feel real up and that was a great session, but they start doing very different things in their life over the months and over the years. So these meta maps are, all I can describe to them is they're very deep parts of that person. I call them specific warps in the spiritual field. I use terms like emotions adhering into the energetic systems of either chakras or acupuncture systems and whatnot. So what I'll test for are, I'll find the emotions and the traumas that have warped the spirit field, which is the most complex field that humans exhibit. And I'll find the emotions and the thought patterns and the acupuncture adhesions or the chakra adhesions related to those emotions. And those become like a basic underlying thing that will be up for that person again and again and again over that year, that 2 years. So that's what I did with a couple of volunteers, and I want to thank both of them for volunteering to have that done. I did a different kind of map, a chakra map, for somebody who walked over. We sort of did that real quickly. That's a different kind of energetic adhesion. I use flower remedies as a way of having the person communicate what kind of belief did they take on. Okay, and I also use those same flower remedies and high potencies as ways of, Don and I, we laugh about it, we call it WD-40 for the soul. You know, it just kind of loosens the bolt that's kind of nailed the soul into that fixed and reactive place. And these high potency flower remedies help these distortions uncongeal themselves, and you get that original freedom to the soul. And so that's what the map is about. Now, what I think we're going to be doing here...
Well, may I make a suggestion?
Yeah, sure.
We haven't even talked about this. But I know for one thing, Joyce has an incident that she has some charge on, which I might want to do while you're monitoring what I do, and I do it the normal way, and whatever happens, happens. Right. But then what I thought we might do in Joyce's behalf is that for the latter part of it, since she tells me, I haven't talked to you about this, there appears to be something in the past at age something or other. We can deal with that, but would it be possible for you to just dictate the tapping points?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
we'll
give you
that a shot and see what happens. So we'll do it on 2 levels here.
That's right. Sounds great. I know that. And I want to explain this raggedy looking herbal patch, just in case you've wondered. I injured myself gardening, and I wanted to make sure that my own muscles weren't going to get in the way of my surrogate muscle testing. So I've been taking homeopathics, magnets, herbs, anything I can do to make sure.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to point out here, which is one of the things that is demonstrable, is that what you're doing is while you have yourself hooked up to Joyce. Right. So you have a wiring connection, if you will. You are energetically or electrically connected to her. What you'll be doing is you'll be putting your fingers on these various vials, which represent emotions.
We have 28 different emotions that we look at. I look at the acupuncture energetics, and I have ways of breaking that down, not into just the main system of channels, but also subsidiary ones like the divergent channels, which are the deepest. Muscle channels, etc. And I can also check in with chakra energetics. And I generally find between the emotions, the acupuncture energetics, and the chakras, I seem to be able to kind of see the changes in real time that you're having as you're doing this work.
Yes, and the other thing that I'd like to have you notice as he's doing this is while he's touching that, he is surrogate muscle testing himself, right? As though you were Joyce, although you're connected to her by this. Right. So he's touching these, he's surrogate muscle testing, getting yeses and nos, etc., and knowing when channels clear and other information. Do I have it right? Okay. So what I think we might do is why don't you just wire her up, and you can turn this way, and we'll deal on that one incident. Okay. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, you need to turn towards me, I think. Something like that. Is that okay with you, Michael?
If I could see your face at some point, maybe could we move this speaker back
yeah, sure.
Then
I can put it down here.
Back further, but still facing.
Sure.
Okay.
Does that fit? Okay, let me scoot this one back.
So you have those socks? No, I don't want them off. Could we put them in your socks? And then that's how I usually wear my little thing. Would that be okay like that? Great. Thanks.
I guess while he's doing that, you had a physical challenge recently.
Right.
Okay, and you're perfectly clean and clear about talking about it and so on. Okay, so why don't you just, can you hear her okay?
Can you hear me? You can if I talk up, right?
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So what was the challenge and what's happened and how does that relate to the traumatic incident that we're going to try to deal with here?
Okay, why don't I start with the traumatic incident and then
Oh,
move
okay,
into the...
sure. And by the way, there is some privacy involved in this, meaning names and this kind of thing, so she may be using initials or some other way to indicate what's going on. So go ahead.
I have someone in my life who seems to have two sides to his nature, and it's been a long-term relationship over 30 years. He's very kind in many ways, but when the flip side happens, and it's been intensifying over the years, such that about 5 months ago, I came home from a summer away at school and found myself at a social event talking to another lady when this person came up to me, realizing this lady had told me something that he didn't want me to know, came up and shook his fist and said, "If I hear another word out of you, I have 4 barrels waiting for you," which put me into shock.
How do you feel right now as you say that on a sense level?
I'm okay.
Okay.
It put me into shock such that when I do energy work, so I know what happens to my chakras, and they all shut down. And 5 months after that incident, I developed my second experience with breast cancer. And to me, the shutting down of my energy field is related to what's been happening in gradual and increments over the years. And since this is my second experience with breast cancer, my life is on the line as far as I'm concerned. So I've had a mastectomy, I've had chemotherapy. Only 5 weeks ago was my last surgery. So I need to deal with this.
Yes. This noise we're getting, is that because we're getting feedback, John? When I lean in? Oh, okay.
I will tell you, I've been tapping. I could not tap, so some of it's,
okay,
you know.
I was going to say, when we talked on the phone about it, it was, you expected it to be an 8 or more.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've been tapping on it, so where is it now?
The actual traumatic incident, if I visualize and place myself back there, it's probably a 6.
Oh, okay. All right. If the traumatic incident was a movie, how long would the movie last?
Do we count the after effect as well? Because I had to watch out for my children.
It's your movie.
Half hour?
Half
No,
hour.
well, it goes on all night long.
It goes on all night long. Okay, so we may well have a number of aspects you haven't tapped on yet. Would that be likely?
That's probably true.
Okay, I'm concerned here about this feedback.
I'm getting hot.
What do we need to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can take my glasses off, maybe. It wouldn't...
Yeah, well, we may need to do... Here, let me take this off for a second.
I don't need to see.
Yeah. Is that okay? Say 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
How's that? Okay. Yeah, we're likely to... My guess is we're going to have a number of things if we would go through it. But the bit about shaking the fist seemed to be pretty well done.
Well, that's a 6. That's the 6.
Well, that is the 6. Oh, okay. But well, a minute ago, we were talking about it. I asked you about it, and you said, no, it wasn't really bothersome.
Well, I'm used to dealing with this.
Oh, okay.
So I...
All right. All right. Tap on your nose. And say, shaking that fist.
Shaking that fist.
And all that it meant.
And all that it meant.
Shaking that fist.
Shaking that fist.
And all that it meant.
And all that it meant.
Shaking that fist.
Shaking that fist.
And all that it meant.
And all that it meant.
Shaking that fist and all that it meant.
Shaking that fist and all that it meant.
Okay, still a 6?
It's a 4.
It's a 4. Remaining shaking that fist.
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 Still 4.
It's a 3.
Remaining shaking that fist.
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 Remaining shaking that.
Remaining shaking that fist.
Still 3.
2.
2. Okay, how do you know it's a 2?
Because I can feel a calmness in there as well.
Oh, okay.
A real
When you
steadiness.
say in there, what does that mean?
In my body.
In your body. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, remaining emotion.
Remaining
shaking the fist.
Remaining shaking that
and
fist.
everything that it means.
And everything that it means.
Including all the follow-up.
Including, ooh.
Well, we got a new issue, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Remaining issue and all that it means.
Remaining issue, I'm sticking with that.
Yeah,
One
remaining
now,
issue and all
all
that
right.
it means.
Remaining issue and all that it means.
Under your eye, remaining issue and all that it
Remaining
means.
issue and all that it means.
Collarbone point. Does that hurt your tap there?
No, it's the other side.
Oh, okay. All right. Remaining issue and all that it means.
Remaining issue and all that it means.
Still 2.
I can feel myself shaking inside now.
Okay. Because you're shifting onto something else?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. All right. See, I now have 2 thermometers. I have one I got you at a 1 or 2 on the original. I don't have you down to 0. The other one's up there around 8 or 9 or something. How much? Am I about right? Okay. All right. Right here, shaking inside.
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 You take the watch off.
Yeah.
Shaking inside.
Shaking inside.
Shaking inside.
Shaking inside.
If it was a 9, is it still a 9?
We're on the second issue now that we're talking about.
Well, you had a 9 about, yeah. See, I don't know what these issues are. I don't really have to know. Okay, it might be helpful sometimes to dig in, but.
No, it's a 7.
It's a 7. Okay. Remaining. It's a 7 because you're shaking inside?
No.
How's the shaking
just my
inside?
thinking about
Okay.
the next issue is.
Okay, how is the shaking inside?
Oh, that's gone.
Oh, that's gone?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we were tapping for, was the shaking inside.
Yeah. But I was visualizing what was making me shake.
Oh,
so.
okay. Okay. Why don't you can you give me a label for what was making you shake?
The thoughts of facing this again legally and, doing the whole business I have to go through to.
Oh, now there's lots of stuff coming
Yeah.
up with that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Facing this again.
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 Facing this
Facing
again.
this again.
Facing this again.
Facing this again.
Facing this again.
A little lower. All right. Close your eyes and go through facing it again and tell me what happens with you.
I'm at a 5, and I can feel steadiness.
Okay. All right. All right. Look at me.
Yeah.
Okay. Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
Facing it again.
Remaining facing it
Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it
Be
again.
excited when you have it. Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
Still a 5?
Yeah.
Still a 5. Oh. Okay. Same issue?
Mhm.
Okay. Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it
Remaining
again.
facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
All right. Still a 5?
3.
3. Okay. Remaining facing it again.
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 Still a 3?
2.
How do you know it's a 2?
I just do.
You just do. Okay. There's no physical sensation going on?
And it's more of a calming down rather than an acting up.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right. Remaining facing it again.
remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing
Remaining
it
facing it
again.
again.
Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
Remaining facing it again.
Okay. Still a 2?
It's okay, I'm a 0.
Okay. You're calm on it?
Somewhere between 1 and 0, yeah.
Okay. Now, is that the only issue, the actual shaking the fist, and what you're going to have to go through after that? Or, the facing it again?
Isn't that enough? Unless you
I
get
don't
into
know.
the...
That's what I'm asking you.
Unless you
But-
get into what led up to that pattern of relationship in my life, which I think lays with what Michael was
Okay.
doing.
Well, let's not go there right at the moment. This is what I'd like to have you do.
Mhm.
Okay. That would be to close your eyes in a moment and go through the whole half-hour issue, if you will, which you can do much faster than half an hour, okay? And visit all the parts of it. The moment you get intense, if you do, stop right there and say, whoops, that's a 3 or a 5 or whatever it happens to be. Would you do that now?
Okay.
Zero? Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to have you do it differently this time. Do it again this time, as you've heard me before, try to get yourself upset, which means exaggerate the sounds, the size of the things, the lightness, the brightness, whatever you can do, try to get yourself upset of something. And what happens?
Can't get over a 1.
Okay. All right. All right. Michael, do you have any input on what was going on? Microphone right here.
No.
Oh.
I have the input that I think, okay, the way this system works, it's all or nothing. So if anything is still there, it still shows on my system. And so what happened, I think what happens is I wouldn't say you're at a 0 from my point of view. Okay. Subjectively, you may be.
All right.
But that's as far as things clearing and whatnot. I don't have any specific input.
Okay, but just to make sure we're clear on what you were saying, when you're doing this, if it's either 100% clear,
that's right,
or you don't, you could be
98%
this much, and
98% no. So what we're looking at is a complete release of the issue, so it's no longer adhered energetically.
Okay. To have a complete release of it, do you have suggestions where to tap and what to do from here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you just do that? Actually, you can give the microphone to Jennifer.
Okay, my access to it has to be via a given emotion. So my sense is that I would give you an emotion and a thought form, and see if that takes you back to a specific place. And I want to work out the governing vessel. Either this point right up here is this spine vessel. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So the emotion would be fear, and it would be somehow connected in with. Well, what do we talked about? Like something's wrong out there, and therefore, I'm allergic to the environment, and there's something impure, unclean, and it's hurting me. You remember that discussion? So I'm wondering if, with this particular issue, there's something that was fearful and like yucky. It made me feel yucky.
Oh, yeah, it was fearful.
Yeah, and there was like I'm thinking embarrassment, shame, fearful, that nexus right there.
Humiliating, yeah.
Yeah, that one. So if we could work on that one and discharge, and particularly through the governing vessel, that would be where this says to start.
Well, yeah, but from my point of view, with her response, for that particular issue, we've got it down to a next to nothing kind of thing. She had a 1 trying to get herself upset. That doesn't mean we couldn't do more, but from my point of view, we've probably got some headway. That doesn't mean we're done with everything by any means. This is one little thing, okay? But, so what would you, to complete it, what would you suggest that we do? Tap here some more?
Yeah, I just had to go right there. And see if, when I just said that, there was something that came up for you. I thought you remembered something. Was there a particular image you had?
I remembered I've developed asthma at 46. It's like my breathing suffocating kind of thing came into the...
And your breath thing with this sphere would be perfect.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to do. Anyway, perfect. I was hesitating only because her taking a deep breath is somewhat inhibited by the fact she had the operation. But you were telling me earlier that when you took it, even though you were inhibited, you also knew there was some constriction over and above that.
Definitely.
Okay. So why don't we just give that some energy if you want to just turn back this way.
And just to pass this along, the energy of fear is the energy of constriction and sinking. So we want to bring that energy up and let it expand and move it up. And that's the images and the energy we want.
Okay. What would be helpful here is if you would, I want to have you take a couple of deep breaths, okay, just so I know it's difficult for you to do, so we want to get to a point where you're at a point where as much as you can get in, given the constrictions, how am I going to say this?
I get it. Just we'll
I'll go ahead. I want you to take a couple of deep breaths anyway, just to kind of take a couple of deep breaths, okay?
I blow my nose.
Okay. Just so you get an idea of what your real deep breath capacity is, given the fact that you have the operation, some discomfort there.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to take another deep breath, and this time when you take it, on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is your maximum potential that you think you would have given the operation, that would be a 10, and if you fall short of that, then it's some other number.
It's between a 7 and 8.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you, a while back you said you were starting to get hot.
Yeah.
How are you doing now with that?
That's better.
That's better?
Yeah.
Oh, is that
it comes
gone?
and goes.
Oh, okay. All right. This constricted breath.
This constricted breath.
Constricted fear breath.
Constricted fear breath.
Constricted cancer breath.
Constricted cancer breath.
Constricted cancer breath.
Constricted cancer breath.
You want to concentrate up here. Constricted cancer breath.
Constricted cancer breath.
Again.
Constricted cancer breath.
Constricted cancer breath.
Constricted cancer breath.
Okay. Let's try it again. See if you're still 7 or 8.
Now, 10 is the most I can do, right?
Yes.
Well, it's still there.
It's still there.
It's not going to go anywhere.
Okay. All right. Here. Right here. Even though I still have some of this constricted breath.
Even though I still have some of this constricted breath.
And I'm afraid to let it go.
And I'm afraid to let it go.
For whatever it means that I can't even put my fingers on.
Whatever it means, and I can't even put my fingers on it.
And I have deep fear about it.
I have deep fear about it.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I let it go.
And I let it go.
No, we're not there yet. I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and 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 accept myself.
And the fellow who shook his fist at me.
And the fellow who shook his fist at me.
And I forgive him.
And I forgive him.
Because he was doing the best he knew how.
Because he was doing the best he knew how.
Okay, constricted breath.
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 Keep going.
Constricted breath.
Again.
Constricted breath.
Try it again.
It's better.
Okay, if it was a 7 or 8, it would now be...
It's between 8 and a 9 now.
Okay. Right here, remaining constricted breath.
Remaining constricted breath.
Remaining constricted
Remaining
breath.
constricted breath.
I'm going to hit them all. Remaining constricted
Remaining
breath.
constricted breath. Remaining constricted breath. Remaining constricted breath. Remaining constricted breath.
Tap here.
Yep. Remaining constricted breath.
Does it hurt? I don't know.
It does, that's
Okay.
fine. Remaining constricted breath. Remaining constricted breath. Remaining constricted breath.
Remaining
Remaining
constricted breath.
constricted breath.
Remaining constricted breath.
Remaining constricted breath.
Okay. Try it again. See if you're still... What was it, a 9? 8 or 9?
You know, it's just staying there. I just don't think it's just not going to go any farther because of this.
Because of that?
Yeah, it's sore.
Okay. Well, what I'm curious about is your sense of, is the emotional constriction that may be there in the breath. Is that gone?
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. What do you get, Michael?
It cleared as soon as we got in the governing vessel.
Oh, okay.
But after a little while, and you started talking, came back again this last time we hit the governing vessel, it cleared, and right now she's looking good.
Okay.
You are looking good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Why don't we now shift over, if it seems appropriate, to the other issue that you think was going to be there, and then you dictate to me the tapping, and we'll just go from there and see what happens.
I have no idea if this is correct or not. In essence, we're sort of trying to merge an issue that's at the top of the iceberg with my sense of this map, which was the underlying piece. So to challenge whether we've got this sphere and all of its aspects in the past, we talked earlier about something's impure or bad about the environment and allergies and asthma, and, or maybe there's something wrong, or crabapple is the flower I'm working with, and there's a sense of something unclean and impure. And we talked, that's often in the self, like the classic, what is it, Lady Macbeth, spot, that's the one I always think of, But it can also be when that gets projected onto the environment, and the environment then feels somehow toxic to one, and so it's impure. So I was wondering if we could go for some other manifestations of that, and I'd just like to really challenge this and make sure the sphere piece is done while we're getting that going.
Okay. This, by the way, will be a different technique than it's going to be basically your technique.
Okay. Well, we're making it up as we go.
Okay. Well, can't stand that. I wouldn't do that.
I just interject this. I really appreciate your going with all this, and sometimes I feel like this has sort of been the Ed Sullivan Energy Hour. Have you?
Well, we're here to learn, and you have yet another angle on it.
Yeah.
And with your testing, which I know nothing about,
right.
You're able to zero in on what may be a very quite deep issue, which I'm not zeroing in on.
Right.
We may if we spend enough time, but let's give yours a shot.
So if you took that kind of like idea of just free associated and just found different instances where fear and something is impure and unclean here or out there, and if you free associated, is there anything that would come up for you?
I just keep thinking about relationships, basically, that are toxic.
What does that mean? I mean, do I dance?
Take it. Take it and run with it. Relationships are toxic. Do something with it. Can't goof off all the time over there, Gary. Come on.
Yeah.
Thanks for the nice specific issue, Michael.
Yeah.
She's going to make it very specific right about now.
Yeah, okay.
Can you give
specific
make up a name to represent a example of a toxic relationship?
Do we use those initials? CD?
CD? Okay. All right. Okay. You're not reversed on it. I don't,
but the fear is back.
Yeah.
But the fear just popped back in the testing. So that's the perfect place to be. Go there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Even though I don't find you reversed, I want to go through the reversal thing anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I have this toxic relationship with CD, say it.
Even though I have this toxic relationship with CD,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I accept CD.
I accept CD.
Sort of.
Sort of.
At least for now.
At least for now.
Okay. And maybe I can build a more acceptance a little bit later.
Maybe I can build up more acceptance a little bit later.
Because after all,
he's
a major cause of my problems.
He's a major cause of my problems.
He's a major cause of my problems?
Well, yes and no, because I'm sitting here with my problems, too.
Okay. All right. He's a contributing cause to my problems.
Yeah. He's a contributing cause of my problem.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
And CD.
And CD.
And I forgive everyone. Go ahead.
I forgive everyone.
For all their frailties.
For all their frailties.
Because they're only doing the best they can.
Because they're only doing the best they can.
Given their background.
Given their background.
The passengers on their bus.
The passengers on their bus.
Their training.
Their training.
Their beliefs.
Their beliefs.
That's what they act from.
That's what they act from.
They're doing the best they can.
They're doing the best they can.
Okay. And I have to do the best I can.
And I am doing the best I can.
Even though my beliefs, background, and training are different.
Even though my beliefs, background, and training are different.
Okay. Toxic relationship.
Toxic relationship.
This fear over here.
This fear.
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 This fear. Okay, I didn't get a sense ahead of time. My thermometer has you at about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Does that fit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, even though I still have some, again, now we have a verse, even though I still have some of this fear.
Even though I still have some of this fear.
And this toxic relationship.
And this toxic relationship.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
For all the contributions I'm making to it.
For all the contributions
which I have
I'm
a hell of a
making to
time
it.
admitting.
Which I have a hell of a time admitting.
And I'm having cancer because of it.
And I'm having cancer because of it.
My sense of what just, I think our fear is clearing. What's happened is she's going into another, she went from the cynical place to what's called a resigned place. For her, has to do with panic and a sense of worry and compulsive, obsessive sort of energy. So my sense is what's happening is there's been somehow a shift to another place. Does that make any sense inside of you?
Well, I can feel a change.
Well,
I don't know if I wouldn't have had all those words, but...
Do any of those, pick a word that might fit or pick another word.
And long enduring was what I was sort of coming through as we were working. Like this was a sustained, I had to have a sort of a sustained strength to get through this somehow. Because like things are on a slow boil and I have to move through that.
This energy is in the third chakra, which is about your power. So this is about, right now, your power is blocked.
Okay. Right here. Okay. Even though I'm tired of fighting this.
Even though I'm tired of fighting this.
And all this conflict is causing my cancer.
And all this conflict is causing my cancer.
I can relax about it.
Ooh, I can relax about it.
In fact, I'd better.
In fact, I better.
Because that's the real problem.
Because that's the real
Because
problem.
other people are going to do what they're going to do.
Other people are going to do what they're going to do.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
And relax.
And relax.
And let go.
And let go.
Okay. Letting go.
Letting go.
Relaxing.
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 Relaxing. Relaxing. Relaxing.
Okay. Letting go of my stuff. I'm sorry. Letting go of my stuff.
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 Letting go of my conflict.
Letting go of my conflict.
Becoming empowered.
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 How you doing?
Something's more up here. I don't know if something moved up or is that what happened?
All right. Right here. Even though something moved up here. Go ahead.
Even though something moved up here.
Whatever it is.
I mean, it wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We need not tap on it?
No, we need not tap on it. I
No.
want you to
Here, Michael.
to acknowledge that power
Mm-hmm.
that you just brought into your system.
I want it to stay here.
All
I
right.
don't want to let it go.
Yeah. And you have choice. That is your choice.
Uh-huh.
Do you choose to
Yes,
keep that?
I choose to keep it.
Okay.
So,
Actually, what happened
How'd
was...
you get it up there?
Who got it up there?
Me.
Thank you. I'm just WD-40 for... What... Could you hold this for me? I want to test something in real time while I'm talking. Whatever change you did there just released a panic and a shame and an anger and a fear, and a whole bunch of stuff happened. And I would say if we're going to go any one place, my sense is that the what's going to bring this in and make this your own
Yeah.
is going to be some sort of work around the sentence, I deserve love, I am love, I'm lovable, for you to take in love of yourself and that you deserve it from others is the cement that's needed here right now. That's what I see.
My sense of it, I'm just going to go with this one, if we can, is to do this technique we did a little bit earlier, where you close your eyes and send out love and peace. And, yeah.
Okay.
I did when I did it before. What I did not do is tell you where that came from. You know, my own, as I mentioned, my own spiritual guide is, of course, in Miracles, and it has a number of lessons in it. And one of the lessons is called giving is receiving. And that's a very old spiritual lesson. You know, giving and receiving are the same thing. But it's not like if I give you $1, you know, I get $1 back or something. It's not a physical thing. But see, you cannot give love, you cannot give it out unless you receive it, because you've got to generate within yourself before you give it out. So giving it and receiving it are the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so this is what I would like to do. And I may tap on you a little bit while you do it, okay? Okay, well, just close your eyes for a moment. And the rest of you can do this as well if you wish. You know? Just close your eyes and visualize somebody, CD maybe, or whoever else would be in the way of your love, accepting love, receiving love. And whoever you see there, say to yourself, I send you gentleness. And send them gentleness, but real gentleness, and mean it. In fact, experience gentleness within yourself before you send it, or you won't be able to send it. I send you gentleness. And say, I send you peace. And send them peace. Real peace. Let them be. They have to be who they have to be. Just like you have to be who you have to be. I send you forgiveness. And shower them with forgiveness. All the stuff you thought they did. Leave it be. And now say, I send you love. Feel love within yourself, and then send it out. And then say, I send you even more love. And build even more love within yourself, and send that out. And then say, I send you even more love. And send it out. And bathe them in it. And notice you're having it as well. And as the love goes out, so does the cancer. And all possibility of it returning. Because maybe cancer and hate or cancer and fear are the same thing. Maybe. Who knows? But we can send it out and leave it out. Okay. How'd you do with that?
Good.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Were you able to send it out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What do you find, Michael?
Of the, I guess, 7 emotional states that were all in a jumble when we started, they're all really looking very balanced to me. I was curious how it feels to you.
Feels wonderful.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know the difference? The difference between when you first sat here and when you're sitting here now? There's a difference within you. You're noticing. Can you articulate what it is?
It's a vibration shift. It's one of peace. It's stabilizing. It's much more present. So that I can take in everything that's going on rather than just my own little space or worrying about what's going on here. It's not that way now.
Mm-hmm.
I can take it all in and still be calm and peaceful taking it all in.
Okay.
It's solid.
Say this.
Solid, grounded.
Say this for me. CD, I forgive you.
CD, I forgive you.
How true does that feel?
It does feel true.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. CD, I love you.
CD, I love you.
Totally
That's true.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whoever shook your fist at me, I love you too.
Whoever shook your fist at me, I love you too.
How's that feel?
It's okay.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Any question about the... well, here's what we want. Oh my.
So what I am going to do for you, if you'll get me an address, is I will send you the high potency flower remedies.
I would appreciate that.
And a copy of this map, so that you can make sure you don't need to walk this map anymore. You don't need to go this road. And this road has been a road you've done probably repetitively since 13.
I just want, can you say anything that'll help me keep it stable in my system? I just don't want to lose it.
Even though I fear keeping it stable.
There you go.
Even though I fear keeping it stable.
Even though I fear
I deeply, completely
keeping it
accept
stable. I deeply and completely love and
Even though
accept
I fear
myself.
keeping it stable.
Even though I fear losing it, I want it stable in my system.
Okay. I deeply and completely accept
I
myself.
deeply and completely accept myself.
And recognize that it's just a fear.
And recognize that it's just a fear.
Okay. And the very fear itself.
And the very fear
problem.
itself is a real problem.
This fear.
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 This fear. I think it's okay. Yeah. It's all right.
I have one to try.
Yeah.
Just to finish. Would you do the inner arm tap? This gets all 3 channels. By the way, everything in her was either connected in with the governing vessel or the lung channels, except for the 3rd chakra. Serenity is my birthright.
Ooh. Serenity is my birthright.
It's accessible to me whenever I want it.
It's accessible to me whenever I want it.
And the love I have of my children.
And the love I have of my children.
And the love my mother had for me are always there to give me guidance.
Are those good tears, Joyce?
Yeah. And the love I have of my children and my mother are always there to give me guidance.
The strength is within me.
The strength is within me.
And it is within the connections of love I have.
And it is within the connections of love I have.
Because those bonds are bonds of freedom.
Because those bonds are bonds of freedom.
And I shall rejoice in serenity.
And I shall rejoice in serenity.
I allow healing.
I allow healing.
I allow strength and health.
I allow strength and health.
This incarnation shall be a transformative one.
Shall be a transformative one.
I make it so.
I make it so.
I declare in front of you.
I declare in front of you.
This is so.
This is so.
I want to make sure those tears were cleansing tears and not tears of other emotional issues that need to be addressed.
No, I was remembering the love of my children.
Okay. Those are happy tears?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it look nice? God bless you.
And you. Dear soul, thank you.
I was curious, as you might be, just how well this session held up for Joyce as time went on. So I called her about 2 weeks after this session occurred, and I asked her how things were going, and she said that she had felt lighter ever since, and in her words, something had definitely shifted.